Greetings, family. Welcome back to my channel. The American presidential debate last night was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen on TV, right? This was completely hilarious. It was unexpected because I would think that people would actually do some preparation before the debate and actually have a prepared structure for how they will debate the issues. But it turned out to be a very malicious slugfest. All right, Donald Trump appeared to be unable to control himself. I guess being in power for 4 years has made him believe that somebody questioning him is unacceptable. All right, when somebody is only given 2 minutes to talk and you find that you can't even control yourself for 8 seconds, this is very telling about your character and your maturity. But all in all, I think Donald Trump made the mistake of thinking that Joe Biden's faculties aren't actually working, because he probably thought interjecting constantly would throw him off. Because if you remember recently, he was talking about how he's Sleepy Joe and he can't really speak unless there's a teleprompter. And I think maybe his campaign staff, they probably encouraged him to try and like jar him a bit. And once I thought he would probably jar him in such a way that he would lose his train of thought, and it would be like a spectacle on live TV. But it didn't work out that way. Joe Biden apparently was playing possum the whole time. He still had some good one-liners left in him, and he used all of them last night to try and actually make at least a portion of his program understandable to the public. All right, but in regards to Donald Trump, I really needed more than 5 minutes for this video because I noticed that young Pharaoh, he did a video last night and he was basically calling out all of his detractors, all of his critics, and the people who he calls trolls. He made a live stream and said that he wanted any of those individuals who made videos about him to actually call in. And he was letting them know that when they call in, he was going to get their information to file a case against them. All right. So I think it was ridiculous to actually phrase it that way because nobody would fall for a trap like that. Who's going to say, oh, here I am, I'm a troll. So, here's my address, here's my phone number and my email. You're free to file a case against me, it's cool. Nobody's going to actually do that. I know some of the most vocal critics of young Pharaoh, they were watching, but they weren't that silly to actually call in and say, oh, wait, hey, here I am, Pharaoh. It's me. I'm the person behind the fake page. Call me. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I would like to say in regards to what he was saying, it's not that people are actually opposed to his success or opposed to him making advancements in life. Because I'm the kind of person, if you're doing something positive in the black community, I will do my best to highlight it. All right, but when you're doing something that is disingenuous, when you're doing something that is actually harmful to the community, I will also highlight this. All right, and I will highlight it without any apology. But so basically, recently, young Pharaoh has decided to echo some of the sentiments of the right-wing conservative party. And as much as he denied it last night, as much as he denied that he's not a Trump supporter and that he only supported Trump because of this perception that he is getting rid of pedophiles, the reality is young Pharaoh has taken on a very different tone from his early presentations. Okay, because he began by actually calling Michelle Obama all sorts of expletives and insults. He actually said that she's a man. He disrespected Barack Obama. So when he began to do things like this, I immediately recognized that he was doing so to attract a certain crowd. All right, he wanted to attract that deep state, right wing, conservative crowd that says a lot of nonsense, like the government is controlled by reptilians. Hillary Clinton is involved in sex trafficking. All sorts of nonsense that has not been proven. All the people they accuse are still on the streets, playing with their kids, going to work every day. So the thing is, it was all conspiratorial BS. All right. So my thing is, it seemed to me that he was beginning to attract this crowd, and he began to actually make these vehement cases on behalf of Donald Trump. Okay, he started to make Donald Trump seem like he was a savior, that Donald Trump was saving the kids, when none of these individuals have actually been arrested. Comet Pizza is just a pizzeria. Nobody has been found in the basement of the pizza parlor from Hillary Clinton's emails. So this was all disingenuous nonsense, and the brother has been leading our people down this path for like a few months. Okay, so this is when I started to make like one or two videos. Not many. If you look at my catalog of about 400 videos, I think I made maybe about 4 videos in which I may have criticized young Pharaoh. Alright? But ultimately, I found an article that actually gives some credence to what I was saying. Okay? Because recently, Channel 4 News has done an investigation about the Trump campaign and this particular strategy they were using by labeling black voters as being deterrents, right? And actually trying to actively discourage them from going to the polls. And this is why when I see various black commentators on YouTube saying that they will not vote and that they actually support Donald Trump, it appears that they actually are doing this on behalf of some higher authority. All right, so in the article it says Channel 4 News has exclusively obtained a vast cache of data used by Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign on almost 200 million American voters. Let me make sure you all know the title of the article too. This is from the 28th of September 2020. Revealed Trump campaign strategy to deter millions of black Americans from voting in 2016. All right. Now the article continues to say it reveals that 8.5 million black Americans were categorized by Donald Trump's campaign as deterrents. Voters they wanted to stay home on election day. Tonight, civil rights campaigners said the evidence amounted to a new form of voter suppression and called on Facebook to disclose ads and targeting information that has never been made public. Alright? Now it says, vast in scale, it contains details on almost 200 million Americans among more than 5,000 files, which together amass almost 5 terabytes of data, making it one of the biggest leaks in history. It reveals not only the huge amounts of data held on every individual voter, but how that data was used and manipulated by models and algorithms. Okay? One of the categories was named deterrence, which was later described publicly by Trump's chief data analyst as containing people that the campaign hope don't show up to vote. Alright, so basically, family, this is reminiscent of the counterintelligence program that the US government has been using for decades. Alright, and the same way that Facebook uses targeted ads and algorithms to suggest content and to suggest articles, this is also taking place on YouTube. Alright, there are some people who are not saying, there are some who are not opposing voting for actually good causes. Some of them are actually opposing voting because they are actually trying to deter thousands of people who are in their following from actually going out to vote. All right. So my thing is with young Pharaoh. All right. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. All right. In the Bahamas, we've been taught to say that it is a duck. All right. And so you've begun to speak about various things that only the right wing conservative party speaks about. All right. You've actually echoed some of the sentiments of some white supremacists by saying disparaging things about Michelle Obama, by saying disparaging things about Barack Obama. All right. And you've actually made a whole playlist of videos supporting Donald Trump and speaking about these wacky theories pertaining to the deep state. All right. And for a person who is exposing so much information, why is it that you haven't been hit up? Why is it that you're still on YouTube? Your channel's never been flagged. You actually accuse people of crimes and you've never been flagged. All right. And so I'm not going to speak about this issue anymore. I think this is going to be like I'm going to give this the full, I'm going to exhaust this issue. Okay. You made a video recently with a white guy and a white lady in which they were obviously making a fool of you. You know, the lady said that young Pharaoh's channel is unique or is useful in that he is able to influence the black community. All right, now he was sitting with a political analyst and strategist and another lady who was basically recruiting him to be used by this political analyst. All right, now the details of their dealings are not made public, but from the conversation that is still on his channel, you can see that the lady wanted to make use of his ability to reach the black community. All right, and it seemed that she was surprised that Pharaoh was able to say things that people will take seriously or that they will actually accept. Okay, and so what I'm saying, this was clearly a counterintelligence arrangement. All right, our brother went from speaking about crystals, incense, aliens, and ancient Egypt to now speaking about Marco Rubio and the Republican Party, Democratic Party, and reptilian conspiracies and things of that nature. You know, so it was a sea change, as we say in the Bahamas. It was a sea change, and to me, this really appeared to be evidence that the brother is being used by political operatives to influence the black community not to vote. All right, they have actually identified some people as black identity extremists and people who will actually not conform to the status quo. And, you know, clearly they deem the black conscious community on YouTube as part of this deterrence, as people who they don't want to vote with their conscience because they happen to be voting with uh, a more thoughtful reasoning, you know. And so, family, this is what I wanted to say pertaining to young Pharaoh. You know, I'm not a hater, I'm not a troll. All right, if a black person succeeds, we all succeed. You know, even if you take the wealth and you hoard it to yourself, the reality is you are one less person we need to account for and one less person's welfare that we need to ensure. Okay, so if you're successful, you know, that's one less person we need to worry about, right? So it would never be an offense for me to see our brothers or sisters rise to levels of greatness, okay? Because in the reality is, the younger we are able to do that, the more bright our future will be. Okay, so I'm not a hater. You know, I want people to get the most they can get. As our brother Simple the Peace says, I want you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. All right. So in this regard, family, I wanted to exhaust this issue so that if you come across any of my videos pertaining to young Pharaoh, you will understand the reasoning behind my critique. All right. But ultimately, besides these political agendas that the brother is openly pushing on his channel, I think the channel is useful for a certain demographic in the black community. Maybe not the most mature people, but some of our younger people who need to actually be led into consciousness, I think it could be useful. But when you start to openly support a political party without first making demands that they actually do something on your behalf, this is when I begin to suspect that something is wrong. Okay, and I want to close this video. I hope everybody is well. Continue to social distance, eat healthy, drink a lot of water, stay away from the snakes, all right, the literal snakes and the figurative snakes. And I'll probably drop another video sometime tomorrow. So as you all know, your boy Ras Jamal is finishing a degree, all right. Don't want to talk about it because a lot of procrastination involved, but your boy Ras Jamal is finishing a degree. So I'm kind of tied up. So just let me know your thoughts in the comments below about all of these dynamics. One love.